Hey guys, welcome back. And in today's video, I am going to be doing my post-trade deadline mock draft. Haven't done a mock draft since the deadline happened. We've had so many videos that have gone up and things like that. But now we got my first mock draft in a couple of weeks. The Broncos have a pick now. The Dolphins are out of the first round. Lots have happened. Lots has changed in the NFL and college football landscape as well since my last mock draft. So I'm going to be uploading mine today. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe if you are new. Trying to hit 100 subscribers by the end of November. We're getting close. We're about 25 away. And I really appreciate you guys. So let's go ahead and get right into this. Starting off with the Houston Texans, who have the number one pick. Now, I was really high on Davis Mills coming into the year. I thought he would have a really solid season, and he's played okay given the circumstances, but they have the worst team in the league. Granted, they need a lot of help. The defensive line needs help. They need some wide receivers, but I think we're going to see a fresh start, and they're going to take quarterback Bryce Young, coming off a pretty solid showing against LSU. And I think he's the best quarterback in this draft. Really, the only thing you could talk about that he needs improvement on is his size. He is very small. He can't really fix that, but he's got all the tools. He's got a good swagger to him, and he's just isn't phased under pressure. I'm taking Bryce number one. And then Carolina, we know they're looking for a quarterback. They'll take CJ Stroud. Some people have CJ Stroud as QB1. I have him as my QB2. He's a good player, don't get me wrong, but I think he's coming off a bad game against Northwestern in terrible conditions, and he's got good size. He's pretty mobile. He's athletic. I like Stroud. I just think Bryce is the number one guy at this point. The third overall pick here, I'm taking Will Anderson. Now, I know Raiders fans are going to say that Derek Carr is going to be gone and different things like that, which he could be. If Derek Carr is not starting, though, I think they're going to try and bring in another veteran quarterback. Wouldn't be shocked to see Brady in a Raiders uniform next year if he doesn't retire, especially with the Josh McDaniels connection and things like that. But I think Will Anderson's the best player in this draft. He's an absolute freak, constantly pressuring the quarterback. And I think he is going to be a huge addition to this Raiders team, a team that only has 9 sacks in the entire year. And they went out and got Chandler Jones, and that has been a disaster. I'm taking Will Anderson here. They definitely need some help on that defensive line, and he's my guy. The number 4 pick, Pittsburgh Steelers. This is a no-brainer for me. They obviously need offensive line, but there's no offensive lineman worth taking, in my opinion. So I'm taking Jalen Carter. He's coming off a phenomenal showing against Tennessee. He was unreal in that game. I think he's got some incredible size, strength on that interior of a defensive line. Pair him in the middle alongside Cam Hayward and TJ Watt. That is a lethal pass rush for years to come. I really like his fit, so I'm taking Jalen Carter at number 4. Number 5, you get the Detroit Lions, and I like Jared Goff. I think he's had a fine year, but they got to get a young guy, and I think Will Levis is my guy. He's had some up and down games this season, but he's got all the traits there. He's got the physical traits, he's got the arm strength and the talent. Can he put it all together? I think so. He reminds me of a young Josh Allen, Daniel Jones kind of player. He's mobile, he's athletic. He's going to be a top 5 pick, I think, in April. I think he is a phenomenal player, and I'm taking him at number 5. For the Philadelphia Eagles, now this one's going to be an unpopular pick here, I think, but I'm going to take Kaylee Ringo here. I think he's the best corner in this class. Pair him alongside Darius Slay. I know they've got a good secondary, but I think you take the best player on the board here. The Eagles they have another first rounder later. There's not really an edge rusher that I love here. I know Miles Murphy's on the board. He's not a great run stopper, in my opinion. Kaylee Ringo is the best corner in this class. Pair him alongside Darius Slay, CJ Gardner-Johnson, who has had a really good season as well. Ringo played another really good game against Tennessee, had an interception in that game, was shutting down Hyatt and Tillman all day long. I like Ringo, and I think he fits really well in the Eagles. The number 7 pick, we've got the Arizona Cardinals here. I think they got to go O-line. A lot of their O-line is getting older or free agents. This offensive line is kind of in shambles here. And I think you take Paris Johnson. I think he's the best offensive lineman in this class. Skoronski is good, but as I've heard people say, he's a little undersized. I think Paris Johnson, you could play him at left tackle, right tackle. He's got a lot of potential to be a really good tackle, and I'm taking him at number 7. And then at number 8 here, this is where I'll take Skoronski. I think he fits Jacksonville a little bit better than he would Arizona. I think they could slot him in a guard, or you could run him as a right tackle. Either one is fine. I think Skoronski is going to go in the top 10, and he's my pick there. At number 9, we've got the Chicago Bears. Very interesting here. Justin Fields has been playing really well the last couple of weeks, getting it together, it seems. I still think they need a wide receiver. I know they got Claypool. I know they've got Mooney. Add a third receiver here. I'm taking who I believe to be the best wide receiver in this class in Jordan Addison. He's been phenomenal for USC this year and hasn't really gotten all the attention as a Jackson Smith-Njigba or Quentin Johnston, but he's putting up ridiculous stats there. He's got incredible body control, great hands, and I think he would work really well next to Claypool and Mooney. I'm taking Jordan Addison here. And then at number 10, the Green Bay Packers going wide receiver as well. And I'm taking Quentin Johnston. He has risen up my board quite a bit. And his fit in Green Bay couldn't be more perfect, in my opinion. Just a guy who's got incredible size, but he is so fast. He's an outside receiver that runs like a slot guy. He's going to be like a 4'4", and he's like 6'3", I believe. Great size, great hands, fast in the open field. He's going to be a really good player, and I think Green Bay is going to be lucky if he's on the board here at 10. At number 11, we got the Seattle Seahawks. This is an interesting one. I'm just going to go with best guy on the board here. I'm going to take Myles Murphy. They could use some edge help. I think he's a good player to play on the edge. And they got Boye Mafe, pair him alongside Myles Murphy, who he's a good pass rusher, not great in run defense, which is my big question mark with him. They need some help on that defensive line, I feel like. And I think Myles Murphy is the best player on the board for them. At number 12, we've got the Detroit Lions. I think they need secondary help. Their defense has been really bad. I know pass rush is probably the more important position. You can go Brian Bresee here, but I'm going to take Joey Porter Jr. here. Really good corner out of Penn State. He's had a really solid season so far, and he's probably going to go in the top 15. He continues to rise up boards. He's a lockdown corner. He could hopefully be what they thought Jeff Okudah was going to turn out to be. I like his fit a lot, actually, in Detroit, so that's going to be my pick there. At number 13, we've got the Houston Texans. I'm going to take Jackson Smith-Njigba here. I still like Jackson Smith. He's taken a bit of a backseat due to Marvin Harrison Jr.'s incredible season, but I really like what Jackson Smith-Njigba could provide to the Houston Texans. I think he's got a lot of potential, and they need another weapon on that team desperately. It doesn't look like Brandon Cooks will play for them again, and so for that reason, I'm going to take Jackson Smith to the Texans. At number 14, we've got my Indianapolis Colts. I like Hendon Hooker a lot, but I don't think that's the pick here. I think that they've got a second-round pick. If Anthony Richardson declares, you could draft a Tanner McKee. Jaron Hall's played well. Michael Penix later on down the board. They need offensive line help desperately. They need a left tackle so badly, and I'm taking Broderick Jones. They need offensive line help. Sam Ehlinger was sacked 9 times against the Patriots. Bad game from that offensive line. They haven't been able to open up run lanes this year. And they've been incredibly disappointing. So pains me, but I am taking an offensive line. And I want to take a quarterback, but I think you have to go O-line here. For the Falcons, pick an interior defensive line here, and I'm taking Brian Bresee. Best player on the board, fits a need. Pair him alongside Grady Jarrett on the inside of that defensive line. Think you could have a really nice duo there for however long Jarrett is still on the team. Think he's got a ton of potential. I like his ability in the run defense as well. Falcons have been impressive, so we'll see if they can continue this. But I've got him at 15. And then at 16, taking one of my favorite players in this entire draft to the Washington Commanders, and that is Cam Smith. Now, their secondary hasn't been as bad as I expected, if I'm being completely honest. Benjamin St-Juste had a really solid season, but I think Cam Smith is the guy here. I think he's going to be a really good player. Great in man coverage, great in zone coverage. Fits really well. That fits a team need, especially after losing William Jackson. I'm definitely taking corner here, and I'm going with Cam Smith. Number 17, we got the New England Patriots. Think you've got to go wide receiver here. They got to help Bailey Zappi or Mac Jones, whoever's starting. And I know some people are going to say Josh Downs. Josh Downs is a really good player, great speed in the open field, and he's electric. But I think Kayshon Boutte is a little bit better. I think he fits what the Patriots need a little bit more. I kind of think Tyquan Thornton and Josh Downs, very similar players, pretty small receivers. And I think Boutte is kind of more of a big receiver in the open field that you could throw to the middle of the field, make a play. I'm going to take Boutte here to the Patriots. No knock on anyone else. I think he fits their need a little bit more. And then for the Bengals, you could go offensive line here. I really like Fashanu. I'm going to butcher the first name, but Fashanu has definitely risen up my boards. But I'm going to take a tight end here, and I'm taking Michael Mayer. I've seen this pick going around a lot. I really like the fit. Mayer's a good blocking tight end, great receiving tight end as well. He also fits a team need. Hayden Hurst, every tight end on this roster is a free agent. They've got to go out and get a tight end, and I think Michael Mayer is the best one on the board. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at number 19, there's a lot of issues. Secondary they need help on. They could use I mean, I wouldn't even be opposed to them taking Bijan Robinson here because Robinson is that good. I think he's definitely going to go in the first round. But I'm going quarterback here. I'm taking Hendon Hooker. This is the perfect situation for Hendon Hooker. He goes into a system that's ready to win, that's got all the pieces in place. Decent offensive line, even though it's struggled a little bit this year with injuries. Decent offensive line, good receivers, a solid defense. This is the situation that I think Hendon Hooker would thrive in. Team that needs to win now. I don't know that Brady will be back next year. I believe his contract is up. I believe. Or they could trade him if they decide to go down that route. But I do think Hendon Hooker is the pick here for Tampa. They need a quarterback. Hooker's coming off a bad game against Georgia, but everyone is going to struggle. Georgia's defense is unreal. I like Hendon Hooker at 19 to Tampa. At number 20, we got the Denver Broncos, who get a first-round pick from the San Francisco 49ers, and they need offensive line help. And so this is where I'll take my guy, Fashanu. He's had a really good year. Some people are saying he is the top offensive tackle on the board. I don't know if I'd say that, but I think he's definitely got a lot of potential. Really good blocker. He's been awesome for Penn State this year. I think he is going to definitely benefit playing in Denver, and I like that fit for them. At number 21, we've got the LA Chargers. This is an easy pick. They need a weapon bad. Josh Downs is electric in the open field, and I think he definitely fits a big need for them. I think he is going to be a massive piece. Pair him in the slot with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams on the outside. You've got a very nice wide receiver trio. If Keenan Allen and Mike Williams can stay on the field, but I do like what I'm seeing from Josh Downs. He's been awesome for North Carolina this year, and I think he's going to continue to rise up my boards. Moving on to number 22, we got the Tennessee Titans, who they're an interesting team. I really think if there was a wide receiver on the board worth taking, I would do it. I know Hyatt has had an awesome season. I don't think he's a first-round receiver. Same thing with Tillman. Offensive line, I like Jalen Duncan here. Think he's more of a day two guy. Same with Zion Nelson. So I guess you kind of got to go corner. I think the best corner for them on the board is Christian Gonzalez. He's played really well this season. He's definitely risen up my board. I think this is the first time I've put him in a mock. Good in man coverage, decent in zone as well. I think he fits a big need for them. This is a team that really hasn't found a great corner. They drafted Caleb Farley. He didn't really work out. They've drafted the kid from LSU, I believe, as well a couple years back. He hasn't worked out too much. They can't really stay on the field. Christian Gonzalez definitely playing as one of the best corners in college football, and I think he's going to be the guy here at 22. At number 23, we've got the Seattle Seahawks on the board. again. This is their own pick. I think here you take Tyree Wilson. Tyree Wilson, awesome, massive guy in the middle of that defensive line, which is going to be huge. Shelby Harris, he's been okay. But pairing him, Boye Mafe, and then Miles Murphy, you've got an incredible young defensive line. You've got that incredible young secondary with Tariq Woolen, Kobe Bryant. It's a really solid defense building if this is how it pans out for Seattle. So I'm taking Tyree Wilson at 23. Then at 24, I'm taking Isaiah Foskey. You saw Justin Houston have a good game. He's kind of getting up there in age. I do really like what Foskey's going to be able to provide for the Ravens. Just a big guy who is going to be able to pressure the quarterback, make plays on that defensive line, and they definitely need that. They haven't really been a great pass rush team this year. You saw Justin Houston have success, as I said, but I'm taking Foskey here. Moving on to number 25, I'm going to take Trenton Simpson to the New York Jets. They need linebacker help. Their defense has been great, but I definitely think you could take a linebacker here. Best player on the board, fits a team need. He's my pick here. Same thing with the Cowboys. They need a linebacker. Leighton Vander Esch is a free agent. I'm taking Noah Sewell here. I really like Noah Sewell, and I think he is the best. I personally think he's the best linebacker in this class, and I think he is going to be the pick for the Cowboys. At number 27, we got the New York Football Giants, and I'm going to take a bit of a surprise here, and I'm going to take Antonio Johnson. They don't really need a safety, but I think you could. He's very versatile. He's listed as a safety, but I think he can play corner as well as safety. Really like his fit with the Giants. Very versatile defensive player. They could use some help in the secondary. I think Antonio Johnson would provide that. Moving on to number 28, I'm taking Nolan Smith. He's injured, but the guy's got incredible potential. He would be in my top 20 if he wasn't out for the rest of this year, but I think he's going to be a first-round pick. He's got great size, great speed off the edge, and I think pairing him with George Karlaftis, and then you've got Chris Jones in the middle, it makes too much sense. At number 29, Clark Phillips. Easiest pick of the day. They need a corner. Clark Phillips, best corner on the board. You take the best guy on the board every time. For the Bills at number 30, I'm taking Bijan Robinson. Yeah, they went and got Nyheim Hines. They definitely could still use some help on that defensive line or on their run game. Devin Singletary's fine. Nyheim Hines more of a receiving back. Bijan Robinson can do both, and I think they would definitely take a chance on him. And then with the last pick of the first round, even with the Robert Quinn pickup, doesn't change it. Taking Felix Anudike-Uzomah. He is the best edge rusher, one of the best edge rushers in this class. I think he's kind of underrated in this simulation. I think he would fit really well with the Eagles. Robert Quinn is a free agent, and I think it makes a lot of sense for them to do. And then for the Texans at 32, they could use a good punter. So we'll take Bryce Behringer, which is a D+, which is okay. But yeah, that's going to do it for this mock, guys. Let me know what you guys think. I think this is a pretty good one. I'm pretty pleased. This took about 5 different tries to get the order that I liked the most, but I think it turned out pretty good in the end. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys like it? Who do you think is going to be the number 1 pick? Would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. But that's going to do it for me in this video, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new. I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.